If you're making long videos and actually want to get eyes on them, Vizard is one of those tools that feels like cheating, but in the absolute best way possible. Think about it like this. Instead of spending your entire day scrubbing through hours of footage just to find one perfect 30-second moment for TikTok, you just drop your long video into Vizard. You tell it exactly which platforms you want to target, and it immediately serves up a stack of clips that are already ready to post. That is the core idea, and honestly, once you see this automation in action, you will seriously wonder how you ever managed to edit your content before. I've been testing a bunch of editing tools lately. You know, the usual suspects like Descript, CapCut, and Premiere Pro. Each of those tools definitely has its own distinct strengths for different tasks. Descript is awesome when you really need to edit audio or make precise text-based edits to the transcript. Premiere gives you that total granular control, but let's be real, it can be a massive time sink. CapCut is handy for those quick vertical edits when you're out on your phone, but scaling that up can get super manual. Vizard really sits in this sweet spot where it actually understands what moments are likely to perform well online. It then completely automates the repetitive parts, like clipping, adding captions, and even scheduling the post. So today, I'm going to walk you through my absolute top 10 favorite things about this platform. We're focusing on the features that make it the go-to tool for creators who want to batch produce social clips without turning into a full-time editor. I'll show you how it fits into a real practical workflow where those other tools usually fall short. And ultimately, why Vizard is so useful for anyone wanting to spend more time making content and way less time trimming it. Number 1 is the auto-edit viral clips feature, and this is genuinely smart. This is the main flex. You import a long video like an interview or a podcast episode, and Vizard gets to work analyzing it. It actively looks for tonal shifts, spikes in energy, genuine laughter, keyword density, and repetitive emphasis in your speech. It basically identifies all the things that signal a clip might actually hook a scrolling audience. Then, it spits out dozens of candidate clips right away, complete with suggested start and end points for you. You get to preview all of them, tweak them if necessary, or just give them a simple approval and export. Compared to manually hunting through an hour-long file in Premiere, this feature alone saves you hours every single time you publish. What's really cool is that the clips it produces are already optimized for social platforms right out of the box. This includes the proper vertical or square crops, correct sizing, and even suggested captions ready for use. You will still want to tweak the wording or the timing sometimes, but 70 to 80% of the heavy lifting is done for you. Feature number 2 is auto schedule, which lets you set it once and then completely forget about it. Once those clips are generated, you don't have to download them and then manually queue them up in a separate scheduler app. Vizard has this built-in auto schedule feature where you define how often you want to publish, like 3 posts per week. You pick the time windows you prefer, and it automatically queues those clips based on your set cadence. For busy creators or agencies managing many different channels, this feature alone is a total game changer. It beats the old method of exporting a batch, opening Hootsuite or Creator Studio, and wrestling with uploads one by one. Compare that to other tools that only generate clips. You are still left having to handle all the tedious scheduling yourself. Vizard cleverly folds that entire extra step right into the generation flow. Next up, number 3 is the content calendar, which gives you one central place to manage everything visually. You can easily drag clips around, reschedule them with just a few clicks, and even see platform-specific previews. This means you instantly know how your TikTok clip differs from the Instagram Reel version before it ever goes live. For teams, this centralized calendar is super helpful because collaborators can comment on a scheduled item. They can suggest a caption change or even swap out the thumbnail directly within that calendar view. It successfully centralizes a lot of the post-production and distribution friction that usually lives across 3 or 4 different apps. Moving on to number 4, batch processing and templates, which unlocks real speed at scale. If you run weekly interviews or a consistent podcast, Vizard lets you save templates for things like intros and outros. You can save your preferred caption styles, watermark placement, and even export presets all in one bundle. Then you just drop in 5 episodes and it automatically generates clips for all of them using that exact same template. That consistent visual look, combined with total automation, is why so many influencers and small studios rely on it. If you have ever spent an entire afternoon just applying the same set of edits across 10 different videos, you will truly appreciate this. Feature 5 handles captions and fancy text, which are basically mandatory on social media these days, and this is all done for you. Vizard auto-generates professional subtitles and formats them in styles that are immediately platform-ready for you. You can customize the font, the size, and the exact positioning, or you can pick a pre-made fancy captions template. This is much faster than manually importing transcripts into a timeline and painstakingly creating every single subtitle layer yourself. It's similar to what Descript offers for text-based edits, but here, the captions are deeply integrated into the clip generation workflow. Number 6 covers multi-format exports and those helpful aspect ratio presets. One of the most annoying repetitive tasks is having to manually recrop the exact same clip for TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and LinkedIn. Vizard handles this beautifully by generating versions in vertical, square, and landscape formats all at once. It even uses a smart focal crop to make sure faces stay centered and important text stays perfectly in frame. This means you get platform-optimized files ready to upload immediately, so you don't lose momentum switching between formats. Now for number 7, it includes good enough editing tools if you ever need to make a quick tweak. Vizard won't replace Adobe Premiere for heavy compositing or After Effects for motion graphics, and that's completely fine. What it does offer are fast, practical editing controls like trimming, adjusting in-out points, and adding overlays. If the AI's initial pick isn't quite perfect, you can manually refine that specific candidate clip in a very simple timeline. It strikes that perfect balance for creators who demand speed but still require final creative say over the output. Feature 8 highlights its integrations and the collaborative workflow it enables. Vizard connects easily to your cloud storage solutions and directly to major social platforms for seamless use. You can share a simple link with an editor, and they can suggest edits or approve clips without endless file transfers. That collaborative angle feels much more modern and fits perfectly into how remote teams operate today. Number 9 brings us to analytics and iteration, ensuring your strategy gets smarter over time. It's not just a make it and forget it system. Vizard shows you the basic performance data for clips you publish through its system. That information then feeds back into the AI, so you can see which moments actually drove the most engagement. If a certain type of clip is consistently performing better, you can subtly bias feature selections toward those similar moments. Other tools may give you analytics, but having that data connected directly to the clip generator makes your strategy genuinely smarter. Finally, number 10 covers the fast learning curve and the excellent support available. The user interface is remarkably clean and very approachable for new users. There are helpful tutorials, pre-built templates, and a supportive community to bounce ideas off of when you get stuck. If you are migrating from a text-first tool like Descript, Vizard won't feel alien, but it's focused purely on shareable clips. Now let me give you a short walkthrough of what I actually do every single week with my videos. I record my interview or live stream, upload that massive file directly into Vizard, and the analysis process begins. While it's processing, I quickly pick a few specific post types I want, like a 30-second TikTok hook or a 60-second highlight. Vizard returns with a dozen suggested clips, and I take a few seconds to quickly scan through and approve the very best ones. I then adjust any captions or thumbnails if needed, and finally, I pick my overall posting cadence with the auto-schedule feature. Next, I move to the calendar view to slightly tweak a couple of those publish times to match my audience's peak activity. Once I hit confirm on those final settings, Vizard handles the rest by scheduling and posting automatically based on the rules I created. If I need to maintain strict brand consistency across everything, I simply apply a template so all my intros and lower thirds look identical. The entire process from the initial upload to the final scheduled posts can take about 20 to 30 minutes for a full hour-long episode. This is a huge difference compared to the several hours I used to spend manually chopping and uploading everything. Now let's look at where other tools fall short and why that makes Vizard so incredibly useful for creators. Descript is amazing if you want to edit like a document, fixing stutters or overdubbing words, but it isn't built for batching viral clips. So, if your main goal is turning one long video into dozens of platform-ready posts, you'll still be doing a lot of manual work in Descript. Mobile editors like CapCut are great for hands-on vertical edits with effects, but they absolutely do not scale efficiently. Doing the exact same editing process repeatedly across 10 different episodes becomes tedious very quickly on a phone screen. Premiere and Final Cut are unbeatable for pure precision, but they are complete overkill for this specific task. Crucially, they don't offer that AI-based highlight selection or the native social scheduling that Vizard brings to the table. Vizard is not trying to replace a professional editor for Hollywood productions. It is trying to remove the sheer grind of clip creation. This allows creators to publish much more often and focus their energy on making truly great long-form videos. To finish up, here are a few practical tips for maximizing your results with the tool. First, do not expect absolute perfection on the very first pass with the AI. The AI gets better the more you use it by approving or rejecting the suggested clips it presents to you. Think of it less as a replacement and more as your extremely fast assistant that is constantly learning your specific style. Always use the templates you create for branding so that every clip looks consistent without any extra manual effort on your part. Make sure you preview those platform-specific versions because a clip that crushes on TikTok might need a slightly different crop for Instagram Reels. It's also a good habit to keep a short list of your go-to thumbnail designs and just tweak them slightly for each specific platform. Let's talk quickly about pricing and access, which is a bit of real talk. Most tools offer a free tier, but the real value only shows up once you need serious batch processing or priority exports. Vizard typically offers a free plan for basic testing, with paid tiers opening up for larger volumes and the advanced scheduling features. When you compare the time you save against the cost of hiring an editor or doing all this yourself, the value proposition is usually there. If you are just starting out, definitely try that free tier first and test the auto edit and scheduling on a few of your episodes. In my final thoughts, if you publish long-form content but want to grow your short-form presence without totally burning out, this is for you. Vizard genuinely solves the real bottleneck that almost every modern creator faces, turning long videos into optimized clips quickly. It is not some magic bullet for guaranteed virality, no tool on earth is, but it massively reduces the friction. The friction between creating a great long video and getting consistent viral opportunities out of it is drastically cut. Honestly, between the smarter clip picks, built-in captioning, multi-format exports, and auto-scheduling, you stop wasting time. You can finally start focusing on the creative choices that actually matter to your audience and your brand. If your current workflow looks like export, crop, caption, upload, and schedule across 3 different tools, you need to give this a shot. See how much of that entire frustrating chain you can collapse into a single, much smoother process. If you want, I can walk you through a real-time example next, showing exactly how I pick clips for all platforms in one session. It's honestly kind of fun watching the software pull out those genuine gems from the long-form content. Until then, keep creating amazing content, and please don't let the repetitive editing grind slow down your momentum.